Hey everybody, it's Dr. Levi. Welcome to your show, The Dr. Levi Show. Today is November 30th, 2016. Beautiful but very chilly day here in Los Angeles. You know, I love this city, but I tell you, when it comes to cold and I are just not a match. I just not my favorite time of the year. But I do love the holidays. I love the fact that we had Thanksgiving. I had a chance to really enjoy that with some great friends. And now I'm here today enjoying today with you, your show. So, lots to discuss today. Tomorrow is a really wonderful day, too. It's the Stop the Bullying campaign. We have a big fundraiser at the Big House in Los Angeles. So, I'm looking forward to hosting that with the talented and ineffable Porscha Coleman, and of course, the talented and wonderful Vinicius Machado. He'll be there also. So, it's really wonderful that we'll be having the opportunity, I should say, to really talk about why bullying should be stopped and how important it is to do what you can to stop this, because it really is a blight on humanity, because it's so important that we look at other people as a reflection of ourselves and that we love everybody. It's so easy. And it's also important that we live in this place of ever-expanding gratitude, knowing and understanding that every day is a gift. And why not be nice to people today? Why not be more forgiving, more loving, more caring? Why not share your gifts with everyone? That's why we're here, to be of service to other people. So I want to thank you for joining us tomorrow. Again, it's at the Big House in Los Angeles at 7 p.m. It's a big red carpet event, so I hope you can join me for that. I also want to remind everyone that December 10th, I'll be doing the Spartan Race in Castaic, raising money for Lymphoma, Leukemia, Cancer Foundations. You know, our goal is $5,000. My gym's goal is $100,000. And right now, we're at about $68,000. So I hope you can go to my website and donate. You know, the goal is to raise money to do what we can to help people who have cancer and really to fight this battle. You know, I lost my grandmother to leukemia, and it was horrible to see someone who dies of any type of cancer or wasting type of disease process, because they literally just they vanish. They just shrivel away. And you know, one thing I think cancer does, it really tries to strip someone of the humanity. And I think it's so important for us to do what we can to love people through their cancer challenges. So I want to ask you, of course, to donate to our website. Again, it's the Phoenix Effect Gym, as well as at my own personal Facebook page, which I'm raising money for. Now, December 3rd, of course, Twitch TV. My TV station will be rolling with that, with the gamers, and talking about health, fitness, and well-being. So join us for that. That's at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Hope you can make it. We have a lot to discuss. That is the most intense situation I can have, because it's all these questions from all over the world, from Bangladesh, from India, from Korea, from South America, from New Zealand. It's very intense, but I try to answer as many questions as I can to get you healthy, to get you fit, and to know and understand that your body and the gym are the same, meaning you take your body wherever you go. Wherever the gym is, you are. You don't have to go to the gym to work out. The gym is about working out wherever you can, because you don't need a lot of material and a lot of weights to work out. You want to work out right where you are. But the goal is to be mindful of your diet, because, as I've said before, you are what you eat, drink, and smoke. So be careful what you eat, drink, and smoke, because your body can only manifest that. And it's good to be healthy. It's good to be fit. And for myself, as a physician, as an orthopedic surgeon, as a speaker, author, all those other monikers, you know, the bottom line is this: I'm a human being. So just like you have to work out, so do I. It's so very important. Now, I want to let you know also we have some new videos coming out for gamers about health, fitness, and well-being. That'll be out before Christmas. We're shooting those weekend after next. And, of course, December 10th, Wish Upon a Toy in Duarte at the Target there. We'll be raising funds as well as bring your toys there. And then, of course, at my office in Glendale, we have toy boxes for the Marine Corps Toy Fitness event, as well as for the Wish Upon a Toy Foundation. So I want to thank you again for joining us today. Lots to talk about. I have to tell you about our wonderful guest today. She's someone who is really the embodiment of talent. She's an extraordinary person. She is about giving back to the community. She is, you know, extraordinarily beautiful. But beauty in LA is kind of the standard. She's way above that standard because she sets the bar high. But more importantly, she's someone that's had a chance to be a part of so many venues as a TV correspondent, as an actress, as a dancer, as a talented singer. She really embodies what you call not just a triple threat in Hollywood, but a quadruple threat. She's an extraordinary speaker, and just what I call someone when she's around you, you feel that there's a vibrational shift in the room because she brings this passion, this love for humanity. So before I can say anything else, I want to welcome to the show the talented and the ineffable Porscha Coleman. Thank you, Porscha.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
That has to be the best intro
I've really?
Ever got. Like, that was so good. Thank you so much.
Well, you're more than welcome.
So good.
Let's talk about your life because you've done so much, and I want to talk about this growth that you had from being born right here in beautiful Los Angeles in Sherman Oaks, going to Hollywood High, and now TV correspondent, actress, accomplished in the media. So what was life for you like as a child?
Oh, man. Life for me like a child was actually amazing. It's so funny because when you're born and raised in Los Angeles, you don't really realize the effect that it has until other people that are not from here say, "Oh my God, you were born here," and I'm like, "Yes."
Right.
And it's like you kind of take it for granted sometimes. But when I was growing up, I went to a private elementary school, and then for junior high, I went to a performing arts junior high school, Milliken Middle School in Sherman Oaks, which was so incredible.
That was a magnet school.
It was
also,
a magnet
right?
school, straight performing arts, and we got such amazing training from the dance program, the music program, theater, everything you can imagine we had at that school, and that's where I literally got all my best training. And then I went to Hollywood High School and again continued the performing arts aspect of things, and just to walk into your school and see a mural where you have Carol Burnett and Lawrence Fishburne and Brandy and so many talented artists. It's just incredible, and you feel like, okay, I've got to do what I got to do to get my start.
Yes, get your start. What were your parents like, in motivating you to do this?
Of course. So my mother and my father divorced when I was very young. So my mother was a single mother, but I had an older brother. So my older brother and I are like 17 years apart. So he's kind of like, like a dad to me. So my big brother played sports. He played football professionally. He went to Washington State University. So growing up, it was always like I had a big brother, and I was like that little sister who always wanted to be where he was at. And my mom would always say, he would go out to a party, and my mom would say that I would say, "How come I can't come?" I'm like 3. It's like, you can't come because you are 3. That's why. But I always just kind of wanted to be in the mix, and we always had a really, really great relationship. So he was always there when I was young, and I have pictures when he's like literally taking a string and tying my tooth to a door to pull it out, all that kind of good stuff. So it's like I really did have a really great upbringing as a child, and really couldn't have been better. And I have a big family too,
which is fantastic.
Yes, big family.
Your mom sounds like a very strong, very powerful woman.
Yes.
Do you feel like you're a reflection of her?
Oh yeah, absolutely. My mom is she's done so much in her life, from being a bus driver to being an entertainer to doing so many things, as a mother, and traveling around the world. Like she has a lot of stories that she tells that I just listen to, and I'm like, oh my goodness, like
that's your mom.
You've done so much. So it's like when you think of someone that's her age, you think of a number like, okay, wow, that number sounds like you've been through a lot, but yet when you look at her, she looks so young. People never believe that my mother's the age that she is. So it's like, it's really cool.
I've seen your mom. Your mom is gorgeous.
Thank you.
She's gorgeous. She's fit. I mean, I saw an Action Icon Awards like 2 years ago. She is on it.
Yes. The first thing that I love that you talk about and it's so empowering is fitness and health. Like we are so big into fitness and health, and I can definitely, attribute her to my love for wanting to stay in shape and being healthy. Because my mother, when she traveled overseas with all her brothers and sisters, she always says, and I've seen pictures, how she gained so much weight overseas. She's like, we can't eat like they eat over there. All that pasta and all that cheese,
Can't do it.
Right. So she was, as they say, she was thick. And she said, dudes loved it, but I was like, this ain't cute. So, yeah, she's like, this ain't cute. And she was killing them. I was like, Lord, mama, the waistline and the boot, everything was tight. Killing them. It was tight and right. But, next to, like, let's say her sisters who were smaller, she was like, no, I always felt like I was the big one. We are not having this.
Right.
So, she was dating a guy, before I was born, and his sister was actually really big into health and fitness and herbs.
Yes.
So from there, she started learning herbs and, everything from turmeric to cayenne to kelp to fenugreek, you name it, and started taking those herbs, and she lost so much weight.
It's fantastic.
Like, out of nowhere. And she's like, wait a minute, this is like a secret that I'm going to keep doing. So by the time she had me, at 35 years old,
everything
she
was
said
set.
it was set, and she dropped back down even smaller than what she was after she had me, and she's been that size ever since. So
she looks amazing.
For someone to be out there, she doesn't mind telling her age. For someone to be 66 and to look like that, I'm like, let me tell your age because you look.
Because your mom looks maybe 46.
Right.
That's amazing.
Right. It's like at least a good 10 years that she can.
10 to
20 years.
No, 10 to 20.
20.
I saw her. I'm in medicine. I see people look old.
Yeah.
And real old.
Yeah.
I see people look old and sort of young.
Exactly.
Your mom looks phenomenal.
Well, it's like you say, it starts from the inside.
Absolutely.
It starts from here, and people don't realize what you put in your mouth will come out in your body.
Absolutely.
If people have a headache, it's like, okay, what did you eat to cause maybe that headache?
Correct.
What is going on here?
To cause that headache?
True. Everything starts with inside, and even for us, alkaline water is all we drink. We have our machine.
You're doing the right thing.
It's filtered. It's like everything is right. I can't even remember the last time I've had a soda, and I don't drink or smoke. Like I never have.
Of course
so
not. Your skin shows that.
Thank you.
Right.
But that's what people have to realize, that health and fitness starts from inside. And if you're alkaline and your body has oxygen, it'll show in your skin. Like your skin is incredible.
Oh,
and I don't even know how old you are. It's like it's like your skin.
35 plus.
There we go.
Right.
I love plus. There we go. Bottom line is it's the plus.
Yes.
It don't matter. The bottom line is that you don't look your age. And that's where it starts, people. Starts from the inside out.
I agree with you, Porscha.
Yes.
I want to hear about this. So when you were finishing high school, who were the teachers there at Hollywood High that sort of like looked at you and said, you know what?
Yes.
You got it.
Oh man.
You are on it. This area of life is for you.
Absolutely. It actually started with teachers in junior high school that I think saw it. My dance teacher, Miss Bayless, Leah Bayless, was incredible. Right. She was my
Shout
very
out
first
to
dancer.
Leah Bayless.
Miss Bayless, you are so amazing. And I always I see her a lot because she's now a principal at another elementary school. Yes. And their passion for teaching us, dance and the arts was so incredible that it's nothing that you could pay for, because
of course not.
Teachers have to love what they do.
Yes.
And she was one of those teachers where you knew that she wanted us to understand the art form of dance.
Right.
It's like I've studied ballet, jazz, tap, modern. It's like, I could do hip hop, but I've done everything else in between.
Of course.
And that's what makes the difference. So definitely Leah Bayless. Another one had to be Mr. Krupsak. He was a singing teacher of mine. I love that name. Yes, Mr. Krupsak. And he had something called Singing Fridays. So every Friday, we had to, if we wanted to perform, which he kind of made us, even though I was all for it, every Friday we would pick a song that we wanted to sing and we'd perform it for the class. Right. So it was no music teaching or anything. It was nothing but everybody's going to perform today.
This is all a cappella?
You could do it a cappella or you could do it with the track. Wow. So if you had a karaoke track, he had his boombox, he had the microphone, and Fridays was only for performance.
Love it.
Every Friday we all look forward to say, okay, what song are we going to do?
Right.
We got to do a good song. You could do a group song. You could do solo, whatever you wanted.
But you had to do it.
But one Friday was the funniest thing. And just to show kind of how hip the teacher was, I remember he said, so kids, there's only one song that you're not allowed to sing. And we're all like, what is he talking about? And it was one of my favorite records, even though I would have never done it. It was TLC Red Light Special.
Oh, really?
He said so
no.
I heard this song by this group TLC, and that Red Light Special song could not be performed. Because, we had a mixed group in our class. We definitely had a nice amount of urban African-American kids in our class. And all he said was that Red Light Special song.
Said no.
We're not having no Red Light Specials in here. We were like, damn. Because we all had our flannel ready to try to do our TLC.
Are you ready?
And I was ready. I had my T-Box ready. Take a good look. And he was like, no Red Light Special. We were like...
He put the brakes on it.
Brakes on TLC quick. It was probably had to hear her creep, and he was
might have been.
Hear her creep.
What does that mean?
And he's like, wait a minute, well, creep where?
Exactly.
Then he heard Red Light Special, and we were all like, oh crap, well, can't be TLC.
No left eye today.
No left eye today. I couldn't hit him with my chili.
You couldn't.
It wasn't going down. So my Friday performances had to change. But that's cool. I wasn't going to go up there and do that no way, but I would have tried if he didn't say nothing.
Right.
I would have tried. But I definitely did my brandies.
Yes.
And, all my, so many artists were so amazing, like, when I was growing up. It was like even Mariah Carey I would do.
Love Mariah.
But, yeah, Mariah and those artists. But like I said, I had a great junior high school. And then even in my high school, Kenny Long. And it's so funny. All these teachers now are my Facebook friends.
Are they really?
So it's so
they're
crazy.
Part of your community.
They're a part of my community now because it's like these teachers were so influential when I was young.
That's fantastic.
And of course, years later, now they're Facebook friends of yours. So Leah Bayless and also Kenny Long, who are also like really, really good friends from the arts and from being on Broadway together. They now cheer me on, and when they see me post something,
it's great.
When they say a comment, I'm like, well, thank you, because you guys had so much influence on
getting you there.
Exactly, of getting me there and being supportive to this day.
Wow.
Yeah.
What will you say were the challenges of high school? Because high school can be very competitive.
Mm-hmm.
There can be a lot of bullying in high school sometimes also.
Yes.
So I want to hear about that side of it too.
Absolutely. Initially, high school was really good because, when I first got there in the 9th grade, I was on TV. Right. I was doing a lot of stuff. So it was literally a whole group of friends that were in the arts that was just like, oh my God, you're amazing. You're on TV. Right. I love this. You're kind of like in the mix like we are because they were going out on auditions. They understood what it was kind of about. Exactly. Understood what it was about. And then there was another stack of kids who just were like, oh, she thinks she's better than everybody. Oh, right. So what? She's on TV. Like, you're nobody important.
Yeah, the haters.
Yeah, it was definitely like a good mix of the kids who loved it and the woes who just, completely hated it. Right. But at the end of the day in high school, you have to stick with the people who stick with you. Of course. And it was just that simple. A lot of times I would be gone for a week or two at a time because I was working on sets. Right. And they have teachers that are there. So I would get training on the set, and then I would come back, and they would almost wonder, like, well, how is she just able to come in and out like that? And it's like, you don't understand. Like, I'm getting schooling when I'm on the set. Exactly. So it's not like I'm just popping in and out at my leisure. Exactly. Like, you're doing work. Exactly. It's all regulated. Exactly. To me, it's actually harder to have the teachers on set because it's literally like you in a room with a teacher. One-on-one. One-on-one. And you have to do 3 to 4 hours of schoolwork per day. And it's like, I can't just maybe do what I would do in a high school classroom where I'm kind of like paying attention, but maybe not paying attention. And there's no study group. You're the studies group. I am the group. Right. So it's like when there's like, okay, well, this is the quiz we're doing here. It's all about you. The focus is like one-on-one. Exactly. So you do get, I think, a better system of training, but at the same time, it's harder because you are more locked in to have to do what you have to do. Right. And then for my senior year, I actually wasn't even there for my senior year. I had booked a feature film. Right. So I'm sorry, it was a TV movie. I was away. I was filming in Utah, Park City, Utah, for a Disney movie that I did. Wow. So it just so happened that, when I graduated as a junior, actually when I left my junior year, I found out that I had so many credits that all I needed was like an AP English course and like one other thing. And I'm like, wait a minute, I could knock this out technically in homeschool and I'd be free to audition for better roles. Right. Because in the industry, if you are 17 but you have already graduated, they can consider you as an adult, so you can work longer. Right. So if you're not, I'm like, well, wait a minute, I could book more work and be on sets longer if I did this. So it just so happens that the movie would take me out of school for a long period of time, and once I wrapped the movie, I was able to go to homeschool and finish. That was perfect. But I went to my graduation. You still went? Oh, yes, I did. You best believe. Unfortunately. And that's where a little bit of the hateration came in. Oh, did it really? Graduation day comes. And like, I'm in my cap and gown. Right? And mind you, Hollywood high school students graduate at the Hollywood Bowl. That's a big deal. It is so bomb. Like, yes. I've seen from Anita Baker to Charlie Wilson at the Hollywood Bowl. Right. So to be on that stage, to sit there and have everybody looking at you graduating is amazing. Real. But first thing people said was, where'd she come from? right. She hasn't been here all year, but she's graduated with us. I'm like, yeah, see, I graduated technically a year early, but I'm here with y'all because I've been here 3 years, so don't think like I can't graduate. Right. So I still had a chance to go through that process, which was fun. And then I went to a friend of mine's prom for another school that is like a homeschool to me. Yes. It was a good process. It was good. It's fantastic, though. I love the fact that as you talk about this, it seems so balanced. Yeah. And that balance must have been a part of your mother helping also to make sure that you got to set on time. Yeah. That you got your training. I went, no, I'm playing. I'm being funny. Stop that. I'm being funny. Your mom is listening. No. I know my mom is listening, but we can both say that we are guilty slightly of having a time management situation. Not all the time. But women sometimes, we realize that we have to be each other's like nudge. Like if you're running late, if I'm running late, we got to be like, we running late together. So, my mama was amazing, but we both would be, a little guilty of having that little time challenge. But everything else, she got me there. She drove. She did everything. I'd be changing in the back seat, going between auditions. So absolutely her influence. I mean, I couldn't have done it and couldn't have got started without her. No question.
You gotta give it up to your mom.
No
She's
question.
Amazing.
Definitely. And she drove school buses, for so long before I was even born that if she can drive like a 30-foot school bus, she can drive a little Nissan or Toyota. She was hitting that 405 and the 101 quick.
With no problem.
With no problem. Like I said, if we was late, best believe we almost still got there on time because of that management of time with the speed.
Exactly.
Yeah. She was hitting them streets. So now it's like when I'll be driving and she'll be like, slow down. I'm like, I drive like you.
Right.
What are you doing? I drive like you. Exactly. Quit playing with me.
You taught me how to do this.
You taught me how to drive. Girl, you know that merge game? Merge game
you know how to roll with that.
That merge game hit. Telling you, shout out to my mom. That driving skills, the bomb.
We love you,
love you, mama. She knows she's here. She in another room.
I gotta go and see her. She is an amazing
I know
woman.
She's laughing right now because she knows that's true.
Well, tell me this: as you were doing this, what were your brother thinking about this?
Yes.
This is a big deal now. You're making your life.
Yeah.
He's 17 years older and he has his own life.
Of course.
So how does that work?
Yes. When I was young, of course, a lot of times before he went to college, my brother would have to babysit me.
Yes.
And it was annoying because he's like, I got a little sister. I want to go to the party.
Right. Can't do it though.
He's like, oh, fine. I guess we're stuck together.
Right.
So we ended up getting a bond that was like so amazing because of the fact that we had to do that. So by the time he went to college, it was like, oh my God, where's my big brother? He was gone.
Right.
So by the time he got out of school and came back from playing football, by the time I was, back in junior high school, he was there. He made every school play. Even PTA meetings,
really?
You name it. He was there.
Fantastic.
So throughout the years now, especially when I, look on Facebook and see different stuff, like we'll be out together.
Right.
We'll club together. We'll go to events and people trip out because he's older than I am, but he also looks young.
Right.
And so people are thinking that that's my boyfriend or something like that. They're like, oh, yeah, I saw you with your boyfriend. I'm like,
no,
that's my brother. Right. So they find it weird. Sometimes they're like, brother and sister, like, go to the club and hang out together.
Of course.
And it's like, and same with my mom. We'll all be out together. And it's really confusing because they're like, okay, she looks young. He looks young, but... So they think that they're dating, and I'm maybe like, I don't know, they think I'm the side chick or something.
Chick. Right.
Right, it's like, what am I, the side piece?
Right.
It's the funniest thing to see people that don't know who we are that are like, so who's this? And she's like, oh, these are my kids. People are like,
well, you got kids?
Okay, wait, that makes no sense. So for all of us, it's just always been what we do. We go out together, we'll party together, we'll dance, we'll post videos. We enjoy each other's company. Right. So it's not a big deal to us. Right. But for sure, like I said, my big brother has been a great influence to have. Like I said, me and my father now, of course we're close as well, but my brother was the one who was exactly from the initial, upbringing when I was young, who did everything and created the foundation. So it's so good.
It's fantastic.
Really, yeah.
You know to think, your career has been so outstanding from being a correspondent on Hollywood Live Today to being on the Parkers, to being on the Maury Povich show.
Yeah.
To
such a wide range of
wide
stuff.
range. What about BET?
Oh my gosh, yes.
I mean, you've done so much. Of all the projects you worked on, what would you say has been the most challenging project for you?
Ooh, the most challenging. Oh, the most challenging project actually had to be a movie that I did with Bishop T.D. Jakes.
Yes.
And that was called Women Thou Art Loosed. And a lot of people don't even realize that it was me necessarily, but I played a young drug addicted mother in that movie.
And how was that for you? It had to be a challenge.
It was a challenge initially because I actually filmed that movie while I was filming The Parkers.
Oh,
so
very different.
It was two different things. And I'll tell the story. I didn't even want to go to the audition because I was on the set of The Parkers in rehearsals, fully made up, hair beat, everything like that. And they said I had an audition for this T.D. Jakes project. And you're playing a crackhead and, all this kind of good stuff. And I'm like, okay, but I'm doing The Parkers right now. I'm with Monique, and I'm hanging with the comedy best. And, I'm trying to be all fun and happy-go-lucky. And they're like, well, okay, this is the crackhead. And,
it's drama.
And look terrible. And I'm like, but I just left set, and I don't look terrible right now. So I was like, okay, crap. So figure this out. So I couldn't take my stuff off because I had to go back to set. But I said, let me just take my hair and just literally rat it up. So like I took a comb and just ratted it really crazy. And then I smudged, some of my makeup at least to make it to where they could still fix it once I got back. So I smudged a lot of stuff and just made it almost like, yes, she's a drug addicted mother, but she's one of those women that still feels like, I'm cute, I gotta be cute. I just have a problem.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's not like she's fully gone, but she's on her way there. And it's bad enough to where she has 3 kids at home, but yet she still walks out the door trying to be productive in life, but just never makes it.
Got it.
And it actually worked. And, you know, I got the call, I got the role, and, you know, the movie is so amazing and it did well at box office. It's always playing on BET and different networks. And when people see it, they're like, oh my God, Porscha, that's you. And it's so great to see people call me when they see, let's say, when I'm hosting on a Maury Povich show. Right. And no, I'm not looking for my baby daddy, people. No, I'm not looking for a baby daddy. Right. I don't have any kids. Right. No, so that's not why I'm there. Right. I always like to clarify because people are like, when I put on my page, hey, check out the Maury show, first thing people say is, oh, I didn't know it was like that. And I'm like, it's not like that. Right, I'm sitting next to Maury. And we're not even doing baby daddy anything. Right. What we're doing is talking about shocking video clips.
Of course.
And funny falls. Right. So that's what I'm there for. And again, it's just to see that, to see the Parkers and then see, you know, all the way to Wild 'N Out. People don't realize I was on Wild 'N Out as a comedian with Nick Cannon and, you know, Corey Holcomb and some of the best comedians. So it's definitely a wide range of stuff that I am proud of to say, like, I've done a lot of different stuff and I'm nowhere near done.
No, you know what I think is wonderful? You know, when we talked about, you know, our group meeting, you know, Janet and I, it was interesting. Our big thing was not what have you done, what has she not done?
I love that.
That was the deal.
I
it was
love
like
that.
She's talented, she's focused, she's hardworking.
Thank
like,
you
know, we have to have her on the show because she's done so much. You know, you've done things that people haven't done in their 50s, their 60s. And in that state of I wish I would have, could have, should have, but you're making it happen. That's why we're so proud of you, that you're on your mission and that you have this clarity of focus about making your life what it is without any victimization or martyrdom.
Absolutely. Yeah. I like the word you said, no victimization, because of course, you know, the industry's tough. It's not easy.
A joke.
You'll go to casting and you'll know you nailed it.
Right.
I mean, nailed it, and you don't hear anything. You're like, what? Like, I knew that part was mine. Like, I can name like 2 or 3 projects where I'm like, oh, that's mine. And all of a sudden you don't hear anything. And then the ones that you think like, oh, I kind of did okay, it was awful, you get a call on. So it's kind of like it's the best surprise, you know, being in this business where you have ups and downs, good, bad, in between, but the rewards pay off, and it's like it makes it all worth it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
How does your faith play into your work ethic? You know, what is your sustaining faith when it comes to doing what you do? Because this is not an easy area to work in.
Absolutely. When I was growing up, even in junior high school, I was in church every Sunday. You know, Church on the Way was a really great church that we have out here in the Valley and in his presence. So I would be there every Sunday with other students and other kids, and they taught us kind of like, I would say, the layman's version of, you know, the Bible and what's going on, because it's confusing in a way. It can be very confusing to someone who doesn't understand it, but when you're young, that's not your priority.
Correct.
You know, it's just not. Let's be honest, especially when you fast forward, you know, 10 or 15 years later when social media is taking over.
Yes.
And it's kind of like, instead of kids, you know, maybe playing outside and meeting friends, they're just hanging out on Facebook or Instagram. Right. So it's a little different. So I think growing up, having a good foundation, and being in the church to hear what the word was and then applying it later and being spiritual and keeping the faith later on down the line is what's really helped. It's like I've always stayed true to myself. Absolutely. I've never sold out, you know, for a part. And I hear so many times that girls did certain things because they felt like, well, I have to do this to get this part.
Right.
And it's like, no, I've walked away on set several times from something that I said, no, this was not a part of the job description.
Right.
And I'm leaving.
Right.
Like,
exactly.
No, I wouldn't have came if I knew it was this. So don't be mad at me when I leave when you present this.
Of course, of course.
Yeah.
You know, and what are words of wisdom you can share with other young artists who are listening to the show today, who may feel like they're pushed into a corner to do or say or be a part of things that are somewhat unethical or not correct? What would you share with them to give them strength of conviction to do the right thing?
Right.
Because I always tell people, do the right thing even when no one is watching.
Oh, absolutely. You have to live by it. At the end of the day, you have to know what you're willing to do. If you want to be an actress, then you have to understand that there's going to be certain parts that you don't want to go out for. that you do want to go out for. So the ones that you love as much as you hate, you have to treat them the same.
Yes.
And at the end of the day, if someone presents you with an audition and you go somewhere,
right,
and they say, so this role requires this, but before we hire you, we need to see this.
Right.
That's when you need to walk out the door.
Of course.
Because there's no audition, there's no producer that's going to sit there and say, hey, get naked.
Right.
Because this is what's going to happen. That's just not how it works. It's not how it happens.
Right.
That's not part of the game.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I think so many times now, especially with the internet, there are so many casting sites that'll put up a posting that is bogus.
Right.
A lot of times they are not real. They are not legit. And some people have to understand that just because you see it on a site doesn't make it real.
Absolutely.
And you have to do your research before you see a casting. Google.
Right.
See if that's a real casting director. If you pull up his page and you realize that actually he's a porn star faking to be something else, then you just have in the back of your mind, okay, wait a minute, let me email and say, so is this really what this is? Because I did my homework and found this.
Exactly.
That's the only thing you can do. And it's so funny, even how I got in the dance world. I saw casting on Craigslist.
Right.
And first thing I thought was, okay, it looks legit. It says dance casting, looking for a dancer who can freestyle, just be fluid with music and send us a photo and resume. So I'm like, okay, great. I have a photo. I have a resume.
Easy.
I submitted it.
Right.
I heard back and they said, hey, we like your look. We saw your stuff. We'd like you to come to set and report here.
Right.
There was really an information on a casting, the actual casting director's information, which was legit.
Right.
But I said, okay, great. I'm not going to go by myself.
Of course not.
So, of course, hey, Mom, let's go.
Of course.
Because, you have to always go somewhere and have somebody know what it is that you're doing,
Absolutely.
Especially something that you're not familiar with.
Of course. Of course.
Sure enough, once I got the information, it said, oh, we're at Paramount Studios. I'm like, oh. Okay, it's kind of hard to fake something at Paramount Studios. Right. I got to get, checked in and all that was secure. And I'm like, okay, my name was there because they were keeping it a secret in regards to who it was. So I had no idea.
Yes.
So get checked in, go to the sound stage, and I'm like, whoa, this is huge. And I see all these lights and green screen. I'm like, okay, so far so good.
Right. Legit
so far. Go into the wardrobe room and I see all this New York gear and hats and jackets and shorts. And I'm like, whoa, who could this be?
Right.
So I get a tap on my shoulder and I turn around and it's 50 Cent.
Was it really?
And I was like, oh my God. Right. Oh my God. Holy cow.
I know you.
I was like, oh my God. Right. And he's like, hey, how are you? I saw your tape. You're great. And I can't wait to have you in my video. And I'm like,
right.
Talk about legit. This was very legit.
Very legit.
And it was on Craigslist. People a lot of times talk about, oh my God, this site is bad, that site is bad. You don't know, but you have to do your homework and your research. I followed up enough to know that, okay, this might be something real. And sure enough, it was. And he used me for the Candy Shop video, for On Fire, for the BET Awards. And I worked with him for years to come. So,
which is fantastic.
Yeah, which is great. So you just got to know what to look for and do your homework. The internet is your best friend.
Yeah, your major focus to our audience right now is listening is to let them know, do your due diligence.
Exactly. You must. Even on an agency, someone emails you and says, hey, I want to represent you. Google them. See if they really have an agency. Absolutely. See what their background and their backstory is, because anyone that you affiliate with in the industry is going to be a reflection of you.
Absolutely.
If you hire them.
Absolutely.
If they're, have a bad backstory and they did, some bad things to some clients before, if a casting director knows that you're represented by them, they're not going to necessarily want to hire you because they think that this person does not understand who this is. So it could be a reflection of you. So always do your research enough to know who somebody is that you're going to get involved with in this business.
This is true. Can you also talk, Porscha, about the fact that Hollywood is big but very small? Ooh. Meaning that you have to be careful about bridges that you may burn or not want to cross. You've done the wrong thing to people. Mm-hmm. Let's hear some talk about that.
Yes, it's so funny. Hollywood, it's huge.
Yes, it is.
You come and it's just the biggest city, and you see, from the Valley to Los Angeles to it's humongous.
Yes, it is.
But when you are in entertainment, you do not realize how small it is until you keep circling back and crossing paths with the same people that you started with.
Yes.
And it's so funny now to see people that I, recorded a song with at 11 or 12, and then I see them on a music set and they're the music supervisor.
Right.
Or all of a sudden, you're working as a dancer somewhere and didn't know that the artist's cousin is, Kanye West.
Yes.
You have no idea how small it is. And that's why I always tell people to watch who you deal with in entertainment.
Very true.
And keep those who are in your corner very close to you.
Yes.
Because you got to have a good team.
You have to.
Got to have a good team. You're nothing without a good team behind you.
Absolutely.
agents, managers,
yes,
publicists,
yes,
your family if they're
yes.
here. Lucky for me, all my family is in Los Angeles.
That's a blessing.
You know, so many people move and they have nobody, and they all of a sudden get sucked into the life
absolutely
of LA.
Right.
And they get caught up and, oh my God, this party and that's going on, and that's going on, and they don't know how to handle going to an event and seeing 20 celebrities in the building at the same time.
Right.
And they lose track of what it's about. It's like,
and who they are.
Right. Because you feel like, okay, Snoop is here, so I gotta, do whatever, he would say that I have to do. Right. And not saying, because Snoop is one of the best people I've ever met in entertainment, in the industry.
Yes.
It's just certain people don't understand that when you work with somebody, keep that relationship solid.
Absolutely.
Keep it solid. Keep it good, and don't tarnish it.
Do not.
Keep it close, because those same people can turn around and hire you for something.
Absolutely.
And that's what you want, is people to say, that's a good person, they have a good work ethic, they're talented.
Correct.
I'm going to give it to them. And then your blessings will start coming.
Absolutely. And sometimes someone may just make a phone call.
Oh.
One phone call can change the directory and
it's
trajectory
incredible.
of your life. Yes.
Incredible that you have no idea, where you're like, wait a minute, who pulled for me?
Right.
Because certain stuff you feel like you may not know anybody, and okay, well, in entertainment, let's be honest, there's politics.
Always.
So
That's
many
life.
politics.
Yes.
And in life, you don't realize it till it happens to you. But politics either work in your favor or against you.
Absolutely.
So
how you design it.
Exactly.
You're right.
How you design it. So sometimes you're like, crap, I lost this job to the director's cousin. There's nothing you can do about
Can't
that.
touch that one.
I can't touch. That's your cousin.
No. Can't touch it.
I can't touch that.
Right.
But all of a sudden there might be something where it comes up, and I get the role because I knew somebody and they worked with me before.
Exactly.
And they can't touch that.
I can't touch it. No.
You can't touch it. And that's just how it works sometimes. Right. So you have to be smart enough to know that this business is a business.
It is a business. It's the business of
show.
Right.
And people don't think like, oh, it's just fun and games. No. Before you walk on a set, there are contracts to be done. There are test networks. There are producers. There are writers before the casting even comes to you.
Absolutely.
So for you to get the audition for something, it's like it went through hundreds of hands before it got to you.
Absolutely.
And you just have to wait. So many projects I went out for got put on hold. I'm like,
exactly.
But then 6 months later, you get a call.
Right.
You're like, wait.
That was over, I thought.
I thought it was over.
Right.
No, they didn't book anybody else. They just had to put the project on hold.
Exactly.
Got to wait.
And I think it's so important to remind people that with media, you do have to wait some time. However, as one thing my mother said I've always loved is that whatever God has for you, nobody can touch.
No, I love that.
They can't touch it.
Yeah.
She'd always say, whatever they have for someone else, Levi, you can't touch that.
Yeah.
So I think if we play what I call a divine waiting game, God will reveal.
I love that.
And it will come right on time.
That's
and
true.
with abundance. If we simply have faith, I believe,
Yeah.
have done the work, have the talent, and have the focus and work ethic, I feel invincible.
It can't be taken from you.
Cannot.
And that's a lot of actors need to understand that, because the first thing you do is you go somewhere and you say, I can't believe that girl took that part from me. And I say to myself, nobody took a part from you.
It wasn't meant for you.
It wasn't your part.
It wasn't your part.
It wasn't your part. I've seen stuff so many times where I'm like, I should have had that. That was me. That was meant to be mine. And then all of a sudden, a couple months later, I get something else where I'm like,
it's better.
Oh my God.
That's why it didn't happen.
I didn't get that because I wouldn't have been available for this.
Exactly.
Congratulations, girl. That was your part.
Exactly.
That was yours, because my blessing was to be something totally different. At that time, you don't understand it. And that's the thing. Playing the waiting game in this business is when you go out for an audition and when you don't get a call, you're like, what is going on? And then other auditions come in and you're like, what's going on?
Right.
So you have to learn how to move on from it. And I've learned so well how to do that. Once you go out for it, either they're going to call you or they're not.
Right.
There's nothing you can do.
Nothing.
You can't do anything about that. And so many times, people go out for something and they'll be frustrating. You could tell, like, even sometimes, like on Facebook, when people just put up their frustrations. I went out for something and they didn't call me. Even if you're not in entertainment, you can go out for a job interview.
That's true.
And you don't hear something back. So it's really not an entertainment thing. That's a life thing.
It's life. Absolutely.
When life happens, it's meant for you and it's meant for you.
I agree.
And I loved hearing the speech, and I was there. It was so incredible a couple weeks ago for the Soul Train Awards. And Teddy Riley basically got like the producer award for the Mr. Amazing is what he got.
Yes.
And honoring his achievements. And he went on stage and he said, so many people were calling me and telling me, Teddy Riley, this is long overdue. I can't believe they took so long to honor you. I can't believe they took so long. He said, no, the timing was now.
Always.
He said, I kept working hard and kept doing what I had to do, producing
Always.
from Michael Jackson to
Yes.
Justin Timberlake to
Yes.
artists throughout the entire world.
Right.
And he said it wasn't long overdue.
No, it's on time.
It was right on time when it
Exactly.
needed to be. And he said, and I'm
Exactly.
grateful and I'm happy that it happened.
Yes.
And he said, you still watch to see all the things that I still do.
Exactly.
Because that's not going to stop me.
Of course not.
Yeah.
And I love the fact what he said, and you reiterated that he was grateful.
Oh.
Because I think when we are in gratitude, again, my favorite words
Yeah.
are gratitude and intention.
I love that.
think when we are grateful, I believe God says, oh, you grateful for that? I got this for you.
I have even more.
I got this, and this for you. But we have to be grateful for a little so we can be even more grateful for a lot.
To receive a lot.
Exactly.
Yeah, and sometimes it's just a test. When he gives you a little something, it's just to see if you're going to overindulge in that something.
Exactly.
So let me get a little piece of chocolate and see what you do.
What you gonna do
You know,
with that?
give me a little piece of chocolate. I'm saving that little piece in the freezer. I'm going to take half of that little piece and be like, wait, I got this for tomorrow.
Right.
I got this for the next day. You best believe I will savor
Exactly.
in the blessing.
Exactly.
Okay? You can never get too cocky about
You
something.
can never.
Ever. Because
Never.
when you're hot, you are hot.
Right.
But things change and
Like
movements
that.
and tides. It's like it's a
Absolutely.
wave. I mean, we can look from generations of music. Like my mom is from the era, and I love the Gap Band, and
Yes.
Earth, Wind and Fire,
Right.
and Aretha Franklin,
Of course.
and one of my favorites, Anita Baker,
Oh,
all
yeah.
all time.
Oh, yes,
So
yes,
then
yes.
you have that wave of movement where it comes the '90s when my brother's in school and listening to Boyz II Men and
Right.
Jodeci
Right.
and all these type of artists. And then you have my era where you're hearing the Chris Browns,
Of course.
and you're hearing
Rihanna.
the Rihannas and the Ariana Grandes,
Of course.
and it just shows you that there's never a point where someone is always on the top.
Never.
You have your moment.
Yes.
You have your chart topper.
Yes.
You have your platinum
Yes.
record. No one can ever take it away from you.
Never.
But you always want to realize that, okay, I want to always stay in the mix and I want to get back to that.
Right.
So never think that you're too good,
Never.
because there's going to come a time when someone is better than you.
Always. Always.
And you want to be gracious enough to where they can say, man, this person is a great, and I love them for what they taught me. And they can always look at you as a predecessor and someone that they are proud to say that I know this artist. Because Chris
true.
Brown, for his first thing he says is, without Michael Jackson, there's no me.
Yeah. Yep. That is true.
He says, that's who I grew up listening to. I'm not
Exactly.
who I am without seeing him.
Right.
And same with Michael. Michael's like Fred Astaire.
There you go.
I was nothing
Right.
without him. So there's always an influence that you have. So just to know that I get, hit up on my social media sites from young girls and different people that say, I love what you do and how you maintain what you've done in this business. And, it makes me smile. And, I like to
Absolutely.
pat myself for saying, good, I
Absolutely.
made good choices.
Yes.
And I'm not done.
But it also shows you that the way you live your life is a representation of how other young women and other young
Yeah.
artists can live their lives with integrity and with focus. 'Cause
Absolutely.
don't forget, you work hard. It's not
Yeah.
like things are given. You work hard
Yeah.
and you stay focused and you make it happen.
Right. That's true. Because you have to work for it. You can't just sit around and say, my blessings are coming.
Oh, no, you can't do that. Right. Porscha, please.
Hello, blessing.
Porscha, please. Porscha, please.
Blessing.
Where they at?
Where you at?
Right, Porscha, where they at? No, stop it.
All the time. And it's kind of like,
Right.
what are you looking for?
Exactly. What are you
What are
looking
you waiting for?
What are you waiting for?
I
You-
didn't
you
just-
create your life.
You have to create it.
Absolutely.
Everything that I went out for that you see on my resume, I auditioned
you
for.
went out for that.
And if they call me directly, it's because I worked for them before and I
Absolutely.
work for it.
Absolutely.
Stuff doesn't fall out of the sky.
No.
And
You
some
gotta
people
go
are
get it.
so self-entitled where they think stuff is just going to happen.
Happen.
You have to work for it. You want to be the best orthopedic surgeon,
Absolutely.
you have to work for that.
Absolutely.
You have to
You're
go to
right.
school. You got to get the knowledge. You got to
Yes, I
do the
do.
groundwork so the
Yes.
stuff can come in.
You're exactly
and the
right.
rewards can happen.
You're exactly right.
Other than that, it's kind of like you're just waiting for something to happen for you. Nothing is to be given to you.
Not in America.
No, not in America. It doesn't work like that. Not in life. It's kind of
I
like
love that statement. Not in life. It
no,
doesn't work.
not in life. I don't care who you are. I mean, you can look at someone like a Paris Hilton who was born into money.
Right.
Her family were billionaires when she was born.
Exactly.
But even though say, oh, she's just a socialite, the first thing I say is that girl's actually a DJ. That girl's getting $1 million to DJ overseas, and she has a schedule that she goes to DJ and that she works hard for.
Right. She works.
Someone like a Little John, who's like a good friend of mine, who has been producing records and who was DJing in clubs when he was growing up.
Absolutely.
And he still is rocking the clubs every few times a night in
Doing
a
the
week,
work.
doing the work.
Absolutely.
And I'm like, wow, someone who's got platinum records, who is selling out everywhere is still working hard for
Absolutely.
what they have. And that's when you know someone even like a Michael Jackson.
Yes.
Michael still in his 50s felt like I have to work.
Was working until he died.
Right. And worked almost himself to death to where he was fighting for people to say, listen, I still believe in what I do and I want to please my fans.
Absolutely.
So if Michael Jackson is still going to work,
we got to do it.
Please, I should be working now. What am I doing with my life? Okay.
Right.
And I saw this morning, like today is actually the 35th anniversary of the Thriller album.
Is it really
the
today?
highest grossing selling album of all time? It has grossed 30 to 59 million records worldwide.
That's pretty
There's no
amazing.
other artist that is going to sell 59 million
Pretty amazing.
CDs of one record. It doesn't
Just
happen
one.
like that. Just one album.
That's pretty amazing.
And when you look at greatness, it's like you have to look and see what they did, and you have to realize I got to keep working.
We got to. Now, I also think when we work, our work, is also a part of why we're here.
Yeah.
We're here to do, I believe, great things. We're here to make a difference in the lives of other people and to live a life that's uplifting.
Absolutely.
And to say things, when it comes to saying things, I always have this litmus test where I say, before I say something, I always think two things. Number one, does it have to be said? And number two, is it uplifting? If it's neither of those, then no need for me to say. I
Then
just keep
don't
it to
say
myself.
it.
Then don't say it.
I like that. And it's tough because in entertainment, it's like I get paid to talk.
Absolutely.
So it's like they want you to speak and be that type of person. And for me, like, I'm not going to lie. Like, I'm very outgoing. I'll talk to somebody.
But you're
I love,
honest and authentic also.
Right. It's like I love going out places and people always trip out when they see me because they're like, I don't understand. How are you at this party and you ain't drinking?
Right. That ain't
How
you.
you ain't? I'm like, because I have a good time without it.
Right.
It's like, I don't judge you. Do you. You have your
Exactly.
drink.
Just do
You
you.
have your good time. Best believe I'll come and I'll steal some pineapple juice from you. You best believe.
But I'm not throwing down nothing else.
I'm not throwing that. That's just not me. I've never liked alcohol. It's not really my thing. And, to each its own. But I am true to myself to know, like, I have a good time without it. And I don't need that, that little extra edge to have a good time. I will be in the middle of the dance floor.
Exactly.
I got it. So you have to know, like you said, be true to yourself and say what you mean what you say, and stick to it.
That's the key.
Don't apologize
Stick
for
to
it. If you mean it, stick to it.
No apologies.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If you're true to yourself, then you don't have to backtrack and say, oh, well, I didn't mean to say that, because that means that you were lying.
Exactly. And you weren't true.
And you weren't true. Don't lie about it. If that's the truth, then stand in your truth and hold
live
it
in it.
and live in it. Absolutely.
I tell you, Porscha, you're just absolutely amazing. I have to thank you for being a part of our
Thank you.
show.
You're
How
welcome.
how can our fans reach you? What's
Absolutely.
your Instagram, Facebook, email, everything? Give it to them.
Yeah, I always say this is where you can legally stalk me, because that's what social media is.
My
People can
goodness.
legally stalk, like stalk, follow. It's all
Right.
good, because I don't mind that. That's what I want. All my pages actually are just Porscha Coleman, PORSCHA COLEMAN. So Facebook, Twitter, Instagram is at Porscha Coleman, and you could find me there. My website is PorschaColeman.com.
Fantastic. And just a quick
Yes.
10 seconds. Tell us about the Jamie Foxx movie, because
Yes.
I also want to talk to Vinicius Machado, who's going to be
Of
joining
course,
us also.
absolutely.
So,
The movie that's coming out, it should be out in 2017. It's called All-Star Weekend, and it is starring Jamie Foxx, written by Jamie Foxx, directed by Jamie Foxx. And when I tell you this movie is going to be hysterical, so hysterical. Jeremy Piven, you have Robert Downey Jr., Eva Longoria, people that are, A-list actors that came literally just to support Jamie in this funny movie, and I'm just so grateful to be a part of it. And shout out to Jamie. I've known him for so long.
Shout out to
but
Jamie Foxx.
Yeah, but it wasn't one of those calls. I didn't just get a call. I actually auditioned.
Fantastic.
And I went through the callback process,
That's
and
the
he
way you do
said,
it.
if you don't kill this role, then I don't know what, because he felt that I was the right person for
You
the
earned
role.
it.
And I earned it. And he said, this is not politics. You slashed it and slayed this part better than anybody else. So I'm proud to say that. And I'm happy,
Fantastic.
to get words from someone like Jamie Foxx,
As Academy Award.
who is so
yeah,
incredible.
absolutely.
Academy Award winning
Yes,
actor.
yes.
Musician. So talented. So I'm just
He's
happy
a
to be a part of
talented
it.
guy.
So
We
look
love
out for
him on
All-Star
the show.
Weekend in 2017.
I can't wait to see you with
Yes,
that,
thank
Porscha.
you.
Well, I want to welcome to the show Vinicius
Yeah.
Machado.
Hey,
How you
thank
doing,
you.
dude? So happy to have you with us, man. Thank you for taking time to come to share with Porscha and I. Happy to have you here.
Man, thank you for having me again, Porscha. Great job
course.
on all the successful work, and congratulations on the
Thank
movie.
you.
And I'm so excited to be here to speak about the Stop Bullying event we're going to be doing
Yes,
tomorrow.
we're all going to be there tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm so excited. And I just want to say real quick that Alco gives his love. I was with him yesterday just on the
fantastic.
show. Yeah, so
thank
we
you,
were talking
man.
about you and all the great work that you're doing, not only
thank
with
you,
your show here, but
Vinicius.
beyond. And so,
Thank you.
yeah, there's just the humanitarian work, and we were talking about just being
Yeah.
great, know, it's a crazy business that we're in, you know, the acting business. But beyond that, just being true to ourselves, you know, and pursuing that. And I think that's where Stop Bullying comes in for me, you know. And I kind of relate with Jorge Nuno, who's also sponsoring the event and co-hosting it with all of us. Porscha Coleman as well is going to be there, guys. So make sure to come out. It's going to be at 180 East 35th Street.
Right. The big house.
The big house over in South LA. And Jorge Nuno is such an amazing person to me. And I just want to say this first and foremost because he's inspired me in such a tremendous way.
Yes.
That's why I felt so compelled to be able to do the event that we're going to be doing tomorrow at the big house where he purchased 12 years ago. And he's been such a staple for that community.
Yes.
Just you know, catering to the homeless, just allowing the kids there to fruition to their full potential by giving them a space to grow intellectually, creatively, you know. And his house is called the Big House for that reason because he opens it up to the whole world so that they can just truly embrace who they are as artists ourselves.
Right.
You know, sometimes I certainly have gone into that place of shadows where, you know, I begin to doubt myself and things of that nature. And so all I needed was a little bit of love, and that's what Stop Bullying is all about. You know, as a definition, it's when a person or a group of people try to demean somebody else whom they think is weaker or who is weaker, but I define bullying as nothing but a lack of love. And that's what we're going to be doing tomorrow.
Absolutely.
I'm looking forward.
So Dr. Levi is going to be there tomorrow
along
as
with
well.
beautiful
Porscha Coleman.
Thank you. It's going to be a great time. I love what you said, too, because bullying is not just, you know, when you think about it, you think somebody's like pushing or shoving you. No, nowadays, I mean, cyberbullying.
Absolutely.
And even someone just talking down to
Absolutely.
you in a demeaning way. And it's so good that we can all be there and talk about how to stand up for yourself, how to speak out and be empowering to those who are going through it.
Right. I mean, the three of us are really about reminding people, what can you do to optimize your life?
Correct.
What can you do to live the best possible life that you're here to do, and also live a life of passion, and above that, live a life of humanitarian giving.
Right.
It's about giving back.
Keyword.
Self-love.
We have to do it.
Self-love. You have to love yourself. I think anyone that's bullying someone else just they don't have a love for themselves.
Vinicius said it so well. There's no love.
Right?
Yeah.
You said it well.
It was Dr. Martin Luther King who said, man has not begun to live until he moves from the narrow confinements of his own individual concerns to the broader concerns of all humanity.
Absolutely.
You know? That's what it's all about. And that's why StopBullyingNowFoundation.org, that's what we stand for, you know, as being privileged as I am to be the national spokesperson for him, and Lo Levine, the tremendous work that he does and has started to do with the organization. But that's what we want to do. We want to impact kids because bullying happens from children to politics nowadays.
Yes, it does.
You know, and it encompasses all areas of life. Absolutely. And the effects of it are so tremendous. But I truly believe, as Dr. Martin Luther King did as well, that, you know, hatred will never outdo love.
Never.
Right.
You know, love will always conquer hatred.
Always.
And that's what we're going to do tomorrow and hereforth, and as you have done and continue to do on your platform as well. And this is what I think is so beautiful about the work that we do as actors, is that we're given a platform to be a voice.
Very much so.
And why not do that for the positive?
Exactly.
Absolutely.
And you said something, I just want to touch on it real quick, because you talked about optimizing your life. There's a lot of people I look up to from an entrepreneurial standpoint in my life, even from an acting point of view, and even a humanitarian point of view. But I would not trade my life for theirs.
Of course not.
Because while focusing on one thing and one thing alone, and they may be successful in that, they forget all the other areas of life. You know, acting is a privilege. It's my job, but it's not all of me.
Not who you are.
All of me encompasses love, health, wealth, happiness. And I'm happy when I give. It is better to give than to receive.
Or it's nothing like giving. Because giving reminds us that as I give to someone, I also give back to myself.
That's right.
Of course.
You know, because we can't take anything with us. You know, my grandmother used to always say, you know, you will always keep your hand open, because a closed hand, nothing gets in and nothing gets out.
Go.
Correct.
You know, so why not give?
Yep.
And because don't forget, we only give what we're willing to give away.
That's right. And don't block your blessings. Because I think doing that, you almost block your own blessing.
Got that
it's like, no, I'm not going to give to them. All of a sudden, God says, I saw that. I saw that. You block it. Don't you try it. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't. Like you said, because nobody can take anything from you, and to know that just giving love. And so many people don't have love. You know, some people, you know, feel like they don't have that family support, or they don't have friends in their life. And it's like, it could be a complete stranger that has an impact on your life. It's not how long you've known someone, it's how long, you know, and how much of an impact they've had while they were in your life.
And it's so important, because the irony of it is that, you know, the less you give, the more you're going to have for yourself. You know, so you stay stingy that way in thinking that you're going to be benefited by it, but you don't. It's the complete opposite.
Complete opposite.
So guys, if you want to come out tomorrow, please bring a toy toy, an unwrapped toy. Bring clothes. Bring toothbrush, toothpaste.
Anything.
Bring a toilet paper. There's so many people right here in our own corner, in our own neighborhood, who needs it. So what we're saying is it's a free event, but all you have to do is bring something that you can contribute in the name of love to the community and to the homeless community in South LA. Again, it's at the Big House, 180 East 35th Street. LA, California, 90011 from 7 to 11. We're all going to be there. Dr. Levi, Porscha Coleman. We're going to be honored with her presence again. So please, and so many others, guys. But most importantly, we're going to be doing what Dr. Martin Luther King said. We're going to be changing the world one person at a time.
And make sure you do hashtag stop bullying now so we can try to get it trending and get everyone talking about it. Because we need to get
important.
out there.
And then the website, as Vinicius and Porscha both said, is stopbullyingnow.org.
Nowfoundation.org. Stopbullyingnowfoundation.org.
So please join us tomorrow again at 7 p.m. at the Big House. I want to really thank the great Vinicius and the most phenomenal Porscha Coleman for being a part
I love
of
his
the
name
show.
too.
Isn't
like
it
that's
fantastic?
so powerful.
Isn't
I'm like just Porsche is kind of boring.
I know
that's
Porscha's not boring. It's a beautiful name.
It's so nice.
It's interesting. It's interesting that you would say that. Whenever I see his name, I think of one word that to me goes with his name, which is invincible.
Oh.
And then whenever I say your name, Porscha, what do you think I think about with that word, with your name, Porscha? Is there any?
Is there any word? No, I don't. What word would I think that you would think? Oh my God!
I think phenomenal just fits you because phenom means that you are out of the norm, that you walk the road that you choose by yourself or with people, but you can do it alone.
I love that.
There's no work. You're not looking for self-validation from someone else. You validate from within.
So my middle name is now Phenomenal. Porscha Phenomenal Coleman. I will change it from Porscha Lee Coleman to Porscha Phenomenal Coleman.
I'm going to ask your mom about that.
Boom. I think she'll approve.
I hope
That's
so.
really cool.
Thank you.
PPC. Done.
Well, thank you. I want to thank Vinicius. I want to thank Porscha. Another great show today with the Dr. Levi Show. And I want to remind you, be kind to people, be loving, be forgiving. And remember, you only get what you're willing to give away. And love speaks volumes, no matter what. And remember, do the right thing, even when no one is watching. Take care. This is Dr. Levi. See you tomorrow. Bye.